You've talked a lot about compassionate leadership. How do you square that with the fact that sometimes people have to move on?
So it's one of the two most frequently asked questions I get on the concept of managing compassionately. One is, how would you ever let anyone go if you're compassionate? And the other I'll get back to in just a second. It turns out, in the case of transitioning somebody out or firing somebody, one of the least compassionate things you can do is let that person stay in a role where they're way over their head. And a lot of people have been in situations where you work with a colleague who is not able to get the job done. And that person may have previously been self-confident and assertive and had a lot to contribute at meetings and to the team. And over time, they just become a shadow of their former selves. You can see it in their body language and the way they show up at a table. You don't hear from them as often, and they're just not the same. And it's not good for their team. It's certainly not good for them. And they bring that energy home with them. So it has pretty significant implications. And that's why I think it's so important to do the right thing. And in that case, put yourself in the other person's shoes and do what you can to alleviate that suffering, to help them achieve a better objective. So it may turn out at times that letting somebody go is the most compassionate thing you can do. And I've heard in a number of cases, people after the fact, maybe while it's happening, they don't feel like this, but after the fact, they'll come back and say it was one of the best things that happened to their career.
What was the second most often question you get asked most often?
People will say, so with regard to this compassion thing, I find that it's really easy when I like the person, but I'm struggling when I don't necessarily connect with the other person. You know, compassion is not conditional. It's actually most warranted. It's most valuable in situations where you don't have a natural connection with the other person.